Harmony module.
Sorry, a lot of cameras set up here.
Totally understand.
Now we're in an intermittent handover of communications with the audio and video coming from the International Space Station, communicating with the TDRS satellites, tracking and data relay satellites that provide that video and audio communication from the International Space Station. There are geosynchronous satellites stationed around the Earth. And docking phase. That approach initiation burn you see comes 7 kilometers below the International Space Station. Right now the Dragon is just a little less than 9 kilometers away from the station. That is the last major burn, and that'll set it up for waypoint 0, just 400 meters below the International Space Station on what's called the R bar that goes directly up and down from the International Space Station in terms of altitude, so it'll be 400 meters directly below. This is just outside an area, what is called the Keep Out Sphere. And it'll do the remainder of its approach operations outside of that sphere. Waypoint 0 being 400 meters below, it'll swing out in front of the International Space Station, maintaining its distance outside of the Keep Out Sphere to a point called Waypoint 1, which is just 220 meters directly in front of the docking axis of the Node 2 Zenith port. That's where the International Docking Adapter 3 is located, and it'll be the home for the CRS 21 Dragon cargo craft, and it'll be the first docking of that port, the first time it'll be used on board the International Space Station. If all is good with the operations to reach Waypoint 1, the Dragon will continue right through Waypoint 1 to inside the Keep Out Sphere. Of course, after the goes from both the teams here in Mission Control Houston and in SpaceX Mission Control over in Hawthorne, they'll continue through that Waypoint 1 and hold at Waypoint 2, just 20 meters away from the International Space Station. That hold is just a matter of minutes. They'll just assess to make sure that everything is lined up with the Dragon cargo craft, and it'll resume from Waypoint 2 to its contact position, a soft capture, right now scheduled for just 12:30 p.m. Central Time.
And Kate, we are happy with the camera view. Thank you.
In the background, you're hearing the space-to-ground communications with Kate Rubens, who's finishing up her work, running an experiment for the biomolecule experiment aboard the International Space Station. It'll be her joined by Victor Glover that will do and that will monitor the approach and docking phase for the CRS 21. Here's a graphic of them, flight engineers Kate Rubins on the left and Victor Glover on the right. They'll be in the cupola module. That's the 7-bay window that looks right down at the Earth. They have a monitoring tool called the RPOP, Rendezvous Proximity Operations Program, that'll provide telemetry through a link called C2V2, Common Communications for Visiting Vehicle. That link between the International Space Station and the Cargo Dragon, CRS-21, providing data and telemetry, and they'll just have a good view from the International Space Station. Of course, they'll have the flight control teams in Hawthorne and in Houston watching along the way as well.
Go to swap.
We're in the final moments just from the approach initiation burn. That burn just coming up here in just a few minutes. And we do have confirmation that that approach initiation burn has actually started. So it's the service section Dracos that are firing for the approach initiation burn. This burn expected to last about 90 seconds. And we're hearing good performance on that burn so far. The trajectory of Dragon has converged with waypoint 0. That's that waypoint just 400 meters directly below the International Space Station. That trajectory is looking good. We're still waiting to wrap up this burn operation here shortly.
Go for timeline.
Hey, I know it didn't all fit on me today just because of the timing, but we just started our PCR run, and that's going to last 2 hours. So that should put us at 18:45 for the rest of these biomol activities. If you guys don't mind, I'll close those 2 out and then do the Dragon Tools teardown in pre-sleep. And that's Shannon's activity, the Brown activity on the timeline. It's going to be a lot easier since I've been doing it all day rather than handing it over to somebody else and having to explain everything.
And Kate, we're completely happy with you continuing to do the biomol. We were tracking around 1900 for the start time.
Okay, perfect. That'll put us after Dragon approach monitoring and all the serious, important, critical tasks. So I'll pick that up once we've got Dragon safely on board, and then I'll get the tool stow in pre-sleep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. What you're seeing now is a feed from the Cargo Dragon on its CRS-21 mission. This is a camera feed from that vehicle looking out at its ultimate destination today, the International Space Station. You can sort of make out the solar arrays on the ends of both trusses, just a little bit farther away though. It's about 7 kilometers away, so it's a little bit hard to make out. But at this time, the CRS-21 cargo craft has completed its approach initiation burn. That approach initiation has converged the trajectory of the SpaceX Cargo Dragon with waypoint 1. That is the next milestone in its mission. Waypoint 1, or waypoint 0 rather, is just 400 meters below the International Space Station. So that AI burn has been complete. Now waypoint 0, that one is quite close to the International Space Station compared to this milestone, the AI burn that took place just about 7 kilometers from the International Space Station. So it'll be quite some time until we reach that milestone, but everything's looking good. The timeliners have put up a clock for a mid-course maneuver. The waypoint 0 arrival time is expected about 42 minutes from now. So a mid-course maneuver can be executed about 22 minutes from now if needed to continue to make sure that CRS 21 converges with its milestone, that waypoint 0. Of course, then you'll have waypoint 1, and once it reaches that waypoint 0, this is a view from the Dragon as it approaches from behind the International Space Station. It'll swing in front of the International Space Station and position itself 220 meters directly above the International Space Station's International Docking Adapter 3. That's where it will dock to the space station today, and then it'll move inside the keep out sphere after a series of go-no-goes to make sure that it's safe to do so, arriving just 20 meters in front of the docking port, IDA 3. It'll pause there for just a moment to assess that everything is go to continue in for a contact. That contact is right as of now scheduled for 12:30 p.m. Central Time. We executed the approach initiation a little bit early today, so we'll continue to monitor that time as we go through these next few phases of flight.
Approach initiation burn is complete. Dragon is 31 minutes from 1,000 meters.
Awesome. Great news. 31 minutes from 1,000 meters. Shutter close and work.
That was the call from Capcom Mike Jensen here in Mission Control Houston. Those words confirmed by Kate Rubins aboard the International Space Station. It's her job to I guess, float alongside Victor Glover next to the Rendezvous and Proximity Operations Program inside of the cupola. One of the milestones before they can go ahead and use that tool is to close the shutters on the cupola, though they may be open to maintain situational awareness through the remainder of the approach and docking phase of flight.
Station on 2 for the EMU.
Go on 2, Suichi.
Yeah, for the EVA 3008 removal is complete, and I put the serial number 490 into the as written in the storage note into the 1.0 CTB 1343. That's item 12. And unfortunately, I have to go for exercise, so I will defer the rest of the activities at this time.
And Suichi, we copy. We are go with deferring the IRCA return and copy all on the 3008.
You're getting a live look at the International Space Station flight control room. The feeds from Dragon. We'll be lucky to have those, the feeds coming through different ground stations, so we'll have some intermittent intermittent coverage of the views from Dragon. Right now, still not having a lock from the cameras of the International Space Station on the Cargo Dragon, but we should be able to regain that shortly as Cargo Dragon continues to make its approach. Right now, just a little less than 5,400 meters away from the International Space Station. Again, it's going to that next waypoint milestone, 400 meters directly below the International Space Station. Right now, both of the spacecraft are in an orbital nighttime, 260 statute miles over the North Indian Ocean. Paul Kanye is the flight director leading the teams here that you see, Mission Control Houston, leading the operations for Orbit 2, the second shift of a 24-hour workday here in Mission Control Houston. Our 24-hour continue operations, this is the second shift of that operations, led by flight director Paul Kanye. It was Mike Jensen, the Capcom, the voice that you heard, talking to Soichi Noguchi aboard the International Space Station. There are 7 crew members aboard the International Space Station, all conducting a variety of tasks. He was working in the station's Quest airlock, working on some spacesuit maintenance operations, and he'll be moving over to exercise here shortly before we get into the docking phase of flight. Shannon Walker, NASA astronaut also aboard the International Space Station, is currently scheduled for some exercise at this time. She'll take the weightlifting machine as Soichi Noguchi is scheduled to be on the stationary bicycle. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins is wrapping up her work with the biomolecule experiment in the U.S. lab, wrapping up an experiment there. You heard her confirmation that Dragon is making its way to the International Space Station. She's closing those shutters in preparation for some of the approach monitoring tasks that she'll be required to do from the station's cupola. It'll be her, Kate Rubins, and NASA astronaut Victor Glover.
Configured for drain, Yeti Bay 1188. Go to proceed with commanded drain.
Shannon, we copy 1138, or no, I think you said 1188, configured for drain.
That's correct, 1188.
Copy, 1188.
Now getting the cargo dragon has successfully executed the approach, and it takes it from 7 burn, that takes it from 7 below and behind the International Space Station to its next International Space Station to its next meters directly below the station. Directly below the station. Cargo craft can execute a mid-course craft can execute a mid-course burn for a little bit more than 13 minutes from now. A little bit more than the teams that you're seeing here now, and the teams that you're seeing here in Mission Control Houston will continue to monitor performance, the spacecraft's trajectory and performance through those. In the meantime, we're going to roll a highlight reel from launch yesterday. Cargo vehicle launched atop a cargo vehicle launched atop a Falcon from the Kennedy Space Center yesterday. From the Kennedy Space Center yesterday, 10:17 a.m. Central Time, 11:17 a.m. Central Time, 11:17. We'll roll a highlight package from that launch and come back with you to continue continue the operations come back with you to continue the operations from here.
And liftoff of the Falcon 9 and upgraded cargo dragon, the first cargo capsule to dock to the International Space Station.
Stage 1 propulsional is nominal. Stage 1 propulsional is nominal. Power and telemetry nominal. Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Falcon 9 is supersonic. Max Q. Max Q.
So there we go, a couple really important calls. So there we go, a couple really important calls. Supersonic, obviously, max Q, maximum aerodynamic pressure, Q, maximum aerodynamic passing through an atmosphere that is still fairly thick, through an atmosphere that is still fairly thick. They throttle back slightly, dramatically, just to be able to make sure that the vehicle can handle those loads, make sure that the vehicle can handle those loads. A beautiful shot there on screen. You can see the plume coming on screen. You can see the plume coming off. You can see the plume coming off of the base of that first stage. Plume coming off of the base of that first stage where firing. We heard the chill call for firing. We heard the chill call for preparing that engine to take the second stage, preparing that to take the second stage to the correct orbit. Coming up here in about 30 seconds, we're going to hear. Coming up here in about 30 seconds, we're going to hear rapid succession of things happening. A rapid succession of things happening. The booster, we're going to call cut off. That's the booster completing cut off its job of getting. It's completing its job of getting out of the atmosphere. Spacecraft out of the atmosphere. Follow that up with the first stage being separated. Follow that up following a parabolic trajectory back towards following a parabolic trajectory, and then back towards very shortly after that will be the second stage engine. Shortly after that will be the second stage engine vacuum start we talked about. That's that Merlin vacuum engine we talked about.
MECO 1. MECO 1. Stage separation confirmed. Stage separation confirmed.
There you see a beautiful shot, the first stage. There you see a beautiful shot falling away. First stage.
MVAC ignition confirmed.
Falling away.
MVAC ignition confirmed.
And that MVAC ignition confirmed. There you see it on screen. Ignition. You can see on the left side. You kind of see that plume coming out. And you on the left side, you kind of see engine bell coming out. Increasingly get more of that beautiful orange color to it. More of that beautiful orange color to it. Increasing the heat and picking up the pace. Increasing the camera angles picking up the pace. The two camera angles that you see here are on reverse sides of that engine. You're seeing a single engine there. As we continue on a nominal call, we heard a number of those. As we continue on a nominal call, we heard a number of those. The uphill climb during the uphill climb as well.
Beautiful launch today, just stunning, and
beautiful launch today, just stunning, and again, all the calls we've heard have been nominal up to this point. So
there you see on the left-hand side of your screen that first stage. On the left-hand side of your screen, that first stage continuing on. Those hypersonic grids won't be usable until they re-enter the atmosphere. Those won't be usable until they re-enter the atmosphere. Those that kind of obviously would have the atmosphere helpful. That kind of direction. Just enter the atmosphere. You'll see those begin to move. Enter the atmosphere. You'll see those begin to pitch and roll. Target that pinpoint landing on. Target that pinpoint landing on. Of course, I still love you, the drone ship.
We've got less than 5 minutes to leave. We've got less than 5 minutes to leave.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal. Stage 2 propulsion.
A couple more great nominal call outs there. A couple more great nominal call outs there. Just previewing what's ahead. So at about just previewing what's ahead. At about 6.5 minutes, we're going to have the entry burn for. We're going to have the entry burn headed towards that drone ship. The first stage headed towards that drone ship. Just
acquisition of signal in Bermuda.
Communication call. You might hear more of those as we go through the process today. As we go through the matter of the process today. Stations across the world. There are ground stations that help pick up the world. Literally, as we send telemetry data back to Earth, as we send telemetry data back to Earth to be able to monitor progress. For the controllers to be able to monitor progress and ensure everything is proceeding.
And really noteworthy that booster. Payload just launched into space. Payload, and one of those actually was more significant. And one of those actually earlier this year. That payload Bob booster earlier this year. That same booster launched two really great, amazing accomplishment. That a really great, amazing accomplishment has been reused a fourth time. Has been reused a fourth time.
Trajectory nominal.
after we get that entry burn, a couple minutes later we will have the second stage. A couple minutes later we will have the second stage engine cutoff. A roughly 6-minute burn of the second stage. Roughly 6 minute, at almost the exact same instant we're expecting. At almost the exact same instant we're expecting landing to occur, and the first stage landing to occur, and the separation of the Dragon from that second stage. The separation. We've seen some beautiful shots this morning. We've seen some beautiful shots this morning. Launch. Hopefully we'll get to bring you that live. Launch. Hopefully we'll get to bring you that live. Dragon. Again, beautiful to see that Dragon. What feels like ever so gently at a what feels like ever so gently at a cool 17,500 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, just a nice easy coast, right? What's really exciting to look back. What's really exciting to look back. The Dragon is on its way to the space station. Dragon is on its way to the space station. The first of 9 brand new contract. But it just so happens on this day in history, 22 years ago, began the assembly of the International Space Station.
Obviously, an incredible international collaboration. International collaboration, and really.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're now looking at a live view of the International Space Station flight control space station. That package you saw with a highlight reel from just about 24 hours ago. A little bit more than 24 hours ago. Dragon CRS 21, Dragon CRS 21, Falcon 9 lifted off from Pad 39A over at the Kennedy Space Center. 39A over at the Kennedy Space Center. 24 hours ago, 10:17 a.m. 24 hours ago, 10:17 a.m. Central, Eastern. 24 hours later, Eastern. The spacecraft is 24 hours later, integrated operations with the teams that you integrated operations with the teams that moments ago they were deliberating the rendezvous and approach timeline here. We're aiming for a docking time at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Just about a few minutes. We'll continue to keep you up to date as the teams here continue to deliberate that time. In the meantime, CRS 21 is just about 2,000 meters away from the International Space Station, approaching at a rate of a little less than 3 meters per second. Than 3 meters per second. There is a mid-course burn maneuver. There is a mid-course burn maneuver. Just about 3.5 minutes from now, as the station and Dragon closer to each other. 267 statute miles now. 267 statute miles now. Orbital nighttime, so Indian Ocean in an orbital nighttime, so views quite yet. We're not getting cargo craft quite yet. We're expecting to see a sunrise here in just a sunrise as we cross into an orbital daytime, just over New Zealand. Daytime, just over New Zealand. You can see there on the right. Now again, we did execute that approach initiation burn a little bit earlier than expected, 10:50. We're continuing to monitor the docking time. We're scheduled for 12:30. The docking time. We're scheduled for 12:30. That next milestone is waypoint 0. But that next milestone is waypoint 0. Just about a half an hour from now, though we're tracking a mid-course burn that may be executed here the next 2.5 minutes. Executed here the next 2.5 minutes. Continue to keep you updated. Continue to keep you updated with that waypoint 0 milestone with that again waypoint 0 milestone 400 meters directly below 400 meters directly below the station. And we just got confirmation that the Dragon spacecraft is now underway with a mid-course maneuver to make subtle adjustments to make sure we're within that trajectory to get us to waypoint 0. That trajectory to get us to waypoint 0. Again, the approach initiation mid-course burn is underway. About 15 seconds left in the burn. About 15 seconds left in the burn. Everything's looking good so far. And we just got confirmation. Good mid-course. We just got confirmation. Good mid-course trajectory of CRS-21 has converged with the next milestone reaching waypoint 0. Next milestone 400 meters directly below the International Space Station. Below the International Space Station. In just about 18 minutes, thanks to that mid-course maneuver. 18 minutes, thanks to that mid-course maneuver. So you can see we're having a subtle adjustment from that expected waypoint 0 arrival time. The new expected arrival time for waypoint 0 is 11 arrival time for waypoint 0 is 11 Central Time. 38 a.m. Central Time. Now getting views of SpaceX Cargo Dragon as it makes its way towards the International Space Station after successfully conducting an approach initiation, successfully conducting an approach initiation mid-course maneuver. The cargo craft is just a little bit less than 1,300 meters less than away from the International Space Station. Away from the International Space Station, the maneuver it's making 400 meters directly below the station. That'll be its next milestone. From there, it'll swing out in front of the International Space Station, arriving 220 meters, arriving 220 meters. The International Docking Adapter 3, the International Zenith or space-facing side of Node 2, or at the forward end of the International Space Station. At the forward end of the International Space Station. Now you can see this is the IDA-3 docking port. You can see just in the part of this particular graphics CRS-21 cargo dragon. That is the port that is expected to arrive at later today. Just a little bit. Around the time of 12:30 p.m. Around the time of more than an hour from Central Time, we'll be seeing that docking. The Crew 1 Dragon is currently docked to the International Space Station. Currently docked to the International Space Station at the forward end. The forward end of the International Space Station. The forward end of the International Space Station. There are 3 other visiting vehicles currently docked to the International Space Station. Northrop Grumman's International Space Station. Northrop Grumman's Cygnus. There are 2 Progress vehicles. Those are 2 resupply spacecraft. Those are resupply spacecraft, and of course the Soyuz MS-17, and of course the Soyuz 3 crew members, including NASA's Kate Rubins, who is monitoring the approach operations today from the cupola window. That is also docked to the Rossviet module. That is also docked to the Rossviet module of the International Space Station.
Over Dragon. Yan 2. Over Dragon.
With Yan 2, Dragon range is passing 1,000 meters. Monitor long-range meters per step 1. Monitor in 1.102 in 1.102 and retreat. Monitor Dragon approach and retreat. Monitoring.
Okay, copy, and that's for Kate for me, correct? And that's for
that is correct.
Kate for me, correct?
And Ike. That is correct. Kate and Ike.
All right, we'll get in that. I can confirm the shutters are closed, and the ham radios are powered off. And the ham radios are powered off.
Copy both. Copy both.
Photos from BioMole are available for you on SSC 20. Are available for you on SSC 20.
Copy 20. Copy 20.
Houston for ARA, the covers are back on. Houston for ARA, the covers are back on.
Copy, covers on. Copy, covers on.
This is Mission Control Houston. What you're looking at now is a live view from the International Space Station. View from the International Space Station cameras, looking out at the CRS-21, looking out at the Spacex cargo spacecraft. SpaceX inside 1,000 meters inside the approach 1,000 meters inside the approach ellipsoid. Actually, a little less than 730 meters. Now, as we continue to try to lock on from the International Space Station side, you can see the cameras from Dragon side. We're getting the cameras from Dragon ground stations. We're getting providing feeds past the ground stations, providing looking up at a video feed. Bright object in the sky. That is the International Space Station. A little closer now. The International Space Station. A little closer now. Some of its features out as it makes its approach. Now, inside 700 meters, that next milestone. Now, inside 700 meters. That next milestone will be 400 meters directly below the International Space Station. You can sort of pick out the solar Space Station. You can sort of pick out the aft end of the station, the aft end of the station, the right image at the bottom of your screen on the right image there.
Houston copies.
You just started tally ho from Kate Rubens aboard the International. Started tally ho from Kate Rubens aboard the International.
You want that info first. I just figured you want that info first.
Always happy to have a Dragon arriving. Always happy to have a Dragon arriving.
It's looking beautiful too. We're right at the Terminator. Beautiful so too. We're glinting off it. I wish you guys could see this. The sun's glinting off it. I wish you guys could see this.
So again, Kate Rubens and Victor Glover inside the cupola module. Victor Glover inside the approach phase, they were able to close the shutters to the cupola modules, but they closed the shutters to maintain situational awareness to maintain situational awareness. International Space Station has just called down through space to ground. Just called down through space to ground. Of a tally ho, the CRS-21 spacecraft from the International Space Station, 630 meters away at this point. Just 630 meters away at this point into an orbital sunrise. Both spacecraft are flying into an orbital sunrise now. So you're starting to see the image become a little bit clearer now. The International Space Station is 271 statute miles, 271 statute miles in orbital daytime south of over the South Pacific Ocean, just south of New Zealand. Now the CRS-21 spacecraft is slowing its approach to that next milestone, waypoint 0. That's 400 meters, waypoint 0, directly below the International Space Station. We're inside 600 meters right now. We're inside 600 meters right now. Time of waypoint 0 to happen. Arrival time of just about 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Just about 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Station on space to ground 2, I can confirm all other parameters in block 1 are nominal and parameters in block 1 are nominal and as expected.
Copy all parameters as expected. Copy all parameters as expected.
Houston Station for monitoring. I've got good monitoring. I've got good RPOP and SSC-12, and I've got the SSC-17, and I've got the SSC-5 on SSC. I don't see video yet. I don't see video yet. SSC-17 on the SSC-17. I believe that popped up a little bit later for Crew 1. I believe that popped up a little bit later for Crew 1, but just let me know.
And Kate, we copy good RPOP on 12 and 17, streamer on 5 on 12 and 17. You are correct that the video on SSC-17 will pop up a little bit later. On SSC-17 will pop up a little bit later.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
What you just heard was the voice of Kate Rubins. She's inside the cupola module of the International Space Station next to the International Space Station next to a program called Operations Rendezvous. This is providing telemetry through a link called C2V2 through a link called C2V2. There's a system on board the Dragon, which we're looking at right now. There's a system on board the Dragon, which we're looking at right now. The South Pacific Ocean just east of New Zealand. Pacific Ocean just east of New Zealand. They're 17,500 miles an hour. 17,500 miles an hour. But that link, she's confirming some of the data that she's able to see from that C2V2 link. She's able to see from that C2V2 link, and a system aboard the Dragon, and a system aboard the station providing the telemetry to her. Rubins is monitoring the RPOP. Kate Rubins is monitoring the RPOP. NASA astronaut Victor Glover is monitoring the rendezvous, the approaching docking operations of CRS-21. Still making its way to CRS-21. Still making its way to waypoint 0. That's arrival time minutes expected inside the Dragon is now 450 meters. Dragon is now from the International Space Station waypoint 0. The International Space Station waypoint 0. It's slowing its approach just 400 meters towards that milestone. The expectation is it will pass right through. The expectation is it will pass right through. The next milestone will be to move out. The next milestone will be to International Space Station outside of a zone. The International Space Station outside of a zone. Keep out sphere is just about 180 meters. Just about around the International Space Station, around the International Space Station. So it'll maintain its distance outside of that sphere. So it'll maintain its distance outside of that sphere, 220 meters. Waypoint 220 of the docking axis, right of IDA-3 International Docking Adapter 3 of IDA-3 International Docking Adapter 3. As Dragon makes its approach toward waypoint 0, some of those features of the International Space Station, some of those features of the International Space Station clear. Now towards the top of the station image on the right, towards the top of the station image on the outline of the Spacex. You can sort of make out the outline of the SpaceX at the forward end of the International Space Station. Forward end of the International Space Station. Right now is directly below the International Space Station. Its trajectory will take it in front of the station. Its trajectory will take it in front of the station. V-bar, essentially in line with that V-bar is traveling, the velocity bar right that the station is traveling, as it makes its orbit right around the Earth, that'll be kind of directly in line with the Crew Dragon that's currently in line with the Crew Dragon that's currently docked. It'll pass that station and swing out directly in front of the station and swing out the station until it's just about the station, 220 meters directly above the station, 220 meters directly above the station, adjacent to that port where Crew Dragon is, to that port where Crew Dragon's docked to the International Docking Adapter 2. To the International there's Docking Adapter 2. That's right there's above that part. That's right space-facing side of the station. Can't quite see from this view as we're directly below the station. Can't quite see from this view as we're directly below the station. As we make it'll come into view next couple of milestones. As we make past those next couple of milestones. Now we're just moments away from that waypoint 0 arrival. We'll stand by for confirmation of that arrival. We'll stand by for confirmation of that arrival. Is expected to from then start its maneuver is expected directly in front. Start its maneuver directly in front.
Bravo call. 2 if you're ready for a block Bravo call.
We are ready. We are ready.
All right, corridor monitoring looks good as expected. Corridor monitoring looks good as expected. Altitude looks perfect, and we see everything pointed towards the space station.
Houston copies all. Houston copies all.
This is Mission Control Houston. Kate Rubins reporting some great data that she's seeing from her monitoring tool. The RPOP monitoring tool, the operations program. We're now inside of a minute from the waypoint zero directly below the International Space Station. Directly below the International Space Station. This is Mission Control Houston. The Spacex CRS 21 cargo craft CRS has passed waypoint 0. It has reached that milestone. 400 meters directly below the International Space Station. It is now below the International Space Station. It is now its next phase of flight called the Approach Zero. Making its way. You can sort of see it already making its way International Space Station. That's its next maneuver. It'll maintain its distance outside of the keep out sphere. It'll maintain its distance outside of the keep out sphere. An imaginary sphere about 180 radius meters around the International Space Station, so it'll maintain around the International Space Station. So it'll maintain its distance in front as it makes its way. But it hasn't reached that milestone waypoint 0. But it hasn't reached that milestone waypoint 0. So you'll see it now making its way in front. Right in line with the current crew dragon that's docked to the International Space Dragon. It'll pass that milestone and swing out right in. It'll pass that milestone and swing out right in Space Station. The next milestone is 220 meters. The next milestone is 220 meters of the International Docking Adapter 3. Of the International Docking Adapter 3.
Sensational safe to ground 2 for Block Bravo. Sensational safe to ground 2 for
Go
Block
for
Bravo.
Block Bravo. Go for Block Bravo.
Everything in Block Bravo is as expected. Everything in Block Bravo range rate 0.372, range rate 0 decimal 0 eyes on Dragon. We've got eyes on Dragon. We'll switch moving extreme launches out of view, but we've got extreme launches out of view, but we've got an excellent view from Cooper.
Copy all. Copy all.
So you're hearing some great words from Kate Rubens, who's monitoring the approach. Kate Rubens, who's monitoring the approach of CRS-21, and docking phase of CRS-21 from the cupola window. She's got a program looking at the data from she's got a program looking at the data cargo Dragon. Everything's looking good from her end. Cargo Dragon. Everything's looking good from her end. That you see here on this graphic, 400 meters. That you see here on this trajectory now is that on the left there, making its way swinging around the front of the station, making its way swinging around the front of the station. Making its way right in front of the docking axis waypoint 1, making its way right in front of the docking axis waypoint 1, right in the front of that 220 meters docking port, right in front of that for today docking port. Just about an hour from now is the scheduled docking time. An hour from now is the scheduled docking time to the update as we get closer to waypoint 2 and contact some of these next milestones coming up. Some of these next milestones coming up. Now, as we wait to regain some views, of Dragon, we were getting some high definition views from the cameras. We were getting some high definition views from the cameras. Some of the items that are on board some cargo Dragon. The items that are on board cargo Dragon. There's 6,400 pounds of cargo, of which literally more than a ton. A ton of which literally more than a ton inside of cargo Dragon. Our scientific investigation Dragon. Our scientific investigation. Inside the unpressurized payload is the NanoRex commercial airlock. That'll be attached to the International Space Station. That's in the unpressurized section. You can see that's in the unpressurized section. Accommodations inside the pressurized compartment as well. This is the first time that this kind of Dragon is docking to the International Space Station. There's docking to the International Space Station. Mimics a lot of what you're seeing today in terms of the operation, in terms of the design today, in terms of the operation, in terms of the design. Cargo Dragon, part of the CRS-2 cargo Dragon, that is making its way to station today. That is making its way to 6,400 pounds of cargo, with more than 6,400 pounds of cargo. Investigation. Now, part of that science investigation. There's quite a number of scientific investigations on board. One of them is called Cargo Heart, an investigation that's looking at the cardiovascular cells and tissues modeled inside of an engineered tissue modeled inside of an engineered tissue station for a few years now of station for really replicating the structure and really replicating tissues structure and even organs of tissues and replicating those functions and organ engineering and replicating those functions modeling engineering cardiovascular cells and tissues and seeing cardiovascular cells stresses of microgravity impact the stresses of microgravity cells and tissues the performance of those cells and tissues for investigation afterwards. Back down to Earth for investigation afterwards. On board in the unpressurized section is a NanoRex Bishop airlock. This was designed Bishop airlock. This was designed by NanoRex. Few of their commercial partners, low Earth orbit economy, and the support that the International Space Station and the support that the International Space Station provide the port side. That'll be attached to the Tranquility module where the Tranquility module that's currently hosting the IDA-3, where Dragon will dock. That was its former home. Dragon will dock, but that was its former NanoRex Bishop airlock will be used. NanoRex Bishop airlock to support a variety of customers for a variety to deploy satellites. It can host external payloads. It can deploy satellites. And so that's coming up on the Cargo Dragon. And so that's coming up on the Cargo Dragon. It'll be from the trunk of Dragon from the trunk to its new home right there on the port side to its new home right there on the port side of Tranquility. Now, of course, there is a lot of important scientific investigations and hardware, but one of the big questions that we always get here at NASA, one of the big questions is what kind of food can we expect, of course, with the upcoming holidays, can we expect, of course, with the upcoming holidays, a holiday menu, here it is right here, with a holiday menu, here it is right here, some crew favorite cobbler, as well as some other holiday favorite, as well as some other holiday themed all across the board items. Astronauts on board will be able to share and get together. Astronauts on board will be able to share and get together, celebrate during the holiday season and celebrate that's going up on board CRS that's going up on board Dragon that's maintaining its distance 400 meters from station, maintaining its distance 400 meters from station and to that docking its way in front and to that docking port. Now, once it actually docks to the International Space Station. You saw docks to the International Space Station. You saw pounds of cargo on board, including the 100 pounds of cargo on board, including the cargo craft of the CRS-21 cargo craft of CRS-21 will actually break the docking of CRS-21 will actually break mass record. This is the total mass shuttle mass record. The International Space Station. Now once it docks, the International Space Station. Now once it docks, visiting vehicles, it'll be ever closer to that 1 million pound milestone. Ever closer to that 1 million pound milestone was in August of 2012. There was August of 2012. Russian spacecraft attached, as well as the European Space Agency's cargo craft, the European Space Agency's cargo craft, the Japanese cargo craft, the HTV that put Japanese cargo craft, the HTV that put it at a record of the post-shuttle era 984 than that. Now the new record with the Cargo Dragon, in addition to the Cargo Dragon, in addition to Northrop Grumman's Cygnus vehicle and 3 Russian spacecraft, Cygnus vehicle, will put it ever closer to that 1 million pounds. Will put it ever closer to that 196,898 pounds. Will be the record upon docking. Pounds will be the CRS-21 today coming up in for CRS-21 today coming up in scheduled in less than an hour. Right now, what is scheduled in less than an hour. This is Mission Control Houston. The CRS-21 Mission Control Houston. Cargo craft is continuing its approach. Cargo craft is continuing its approach. New home aboard the International Space Station. The International Docking International Space Station. The International Docking now swinging in front of the International Space Station. In front of the International Space Station. Maintain those views as it makes those dynamic views. As it makes those dynamic dynamic space station from the bottom of space station waypoint 0 400 meters directly below. You can sort of make it out in the distance below 400. You can sort of make it out in the distance to Statue Miles swinging out in front of the International Space Station. It is not in front of the International Space Station. It is not the velocity bar that's right in front of the International Space Station. Though it is very close of the International Space Station, though it is very close in line with the trajectory of the International Space Station, the trajectory of the International Space Station, and the current docking axis of the to the forward end that is currently docked. It's coming up to the forward end. that V-bar very shortly. It'll then swing out in front of, it'll then swing out the International Space Station to meet up with its next waypoint. Space Station that is 220 meters directly above the International Space Station, directly above the International Space Station's International Docking Adapter 3. That's on the International Docking Adapter 3. That's on the forward end of the International Space Station. So that'll be right in front. You see, throughout this whole maneuver, it'll maintain its distance outside. This whole maneuver, it'll maintain its distance outside of the keep out about 180, 185 meters around the International Space Station. It'll maintain a distance well beyond that right now. It'll maintain a distance well beyond that right now. It's away from the station, 60 meters. Reaches that next milestone, waypoint 1, of course. Reaches that next milestone, waypoint 1. Waypoint 1 was it crosses that velocity bar towards waypoint 1 was it crosses that velocity bar 460 meters. About 450 to waypoint 1, it'll start going. When it gets to waypoint 1, 220 meters is that next milestone. 220 meters is that next milestone. A great view from Dragon as it approaches that velocity bar. This is a view directly in front of the International Space Station. Directly in front of the International Space Station. In fact, if you're on the Earth, reflecting quite a bit of light at night. If you're on the Earth, the third brightest object at night in the sky. The third brightest object after, of course, the sun and the moon. This is the next brightest object, and this is the next brightest object. Passing directly over your home by going to passing directly over your home by going to spot the station. Even from this view, 460 from this meters in front of the station. It is a bit meters bright, in front of the station. But you can make out a lot of the features of. But you can make out the International Space Station, the International Space Station, both ends of the truss there, flanking both ends of the truss. At the bottom, you can sort of make out, and then of course at the bottom, you can some of the visiting vehicles that are on the nadir end. Some of the visiting vehicles that are on the nadir end of the Earth-facing International Space Station. Of the there's 3 international vehicles currently on the nadir side. Visiting vehicles currently on the nadir side. Northrop Grumman Cygnus 14. There's also a Soyuz spacecraft. And there's also a Soyuz spacecraft, Progress spacecraft, on the aft end of the International Space Station, on the aft end of the International Space Station, sort of the back end, and then it's not sort of blown out, but at the very forward end, sort of blown out, but at the very forward end of the International Space Station.
1 attitude is good. We still have a visual on Dragon from the Kuiper. Good. We still have a visual on Dragon from the Kuiper.
Houston copies all. Houston copies all.
As Kate Rubins aboard the International Space Station, Mike Jensen is the International Space Station. Mission Control Houston is the voice you're hearing from here. The Mission Control Houston confirming very good visuals. Now, of course, still receiving some very good visuals. Now, Dragon has not yet crossed the velocity bar. Dragon has not yet crossed the velocity bar. The cupola windows at the front of the station side, the cupola windows still make out the cargo craft. The bottom swings still make out the cargo craft. But once it swings and makes its way above the station, they'll start to lose those views. And above the station, they'll start to lose those views that they're getting. They'll have to rely on the telemetry that they're getting aboard their proximity operations program that's providing some of the data and telemetry from that's providing some of the data and telemetry from CRS-21, the SpaceX CRS-21. Some great views from some of the high-definition truss cameras. Some great views from some of the high-definition truss cameras aboard the International Space Station. This one coming from the port truss looking out. This one coming from the cargo truss looking out. 200 or 400 Dragon. That's 62 meters or 400 away from the International Space Station. Just out about the velocity ball right now, directly in front. Just out about the velocity ball right now, directly in front.
461 terrain rate, negative 0.061 terrain rate, and we just lastly, and we just lastly got a good view for the MPEG streamer, just in case you're interested in feature info, how long we have the actual feature info, how long we have the actual visual.
And Kate, given that this is our first time going up the overhead, that's helpful data.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
So this is Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston.
Station Houston on 2 for Kate. When Pluto sets up the laptop, you didn't full screen that video. If you want it full screen, you are welcome to do that. If you want it full screen, you are welcome to do that.
I made the window bigger, but I will. I made the window bigger, but I will. I'll make that full screen. Thank you.
So this is Mission Control Houston. Kate Rubins aboard the International Space Station. She's in the cupola module. This is a 7-bay window that looks right down at the Earth, confirming she loses visuals at the Earth from the windows. She loses visuals that looks down at the Earth. She loses it right about the time that looks down at the Earth. That it crosses it right about the time right above. That it crosses right in line with the velocity vector of the International Space Station. The velocity vector of the International Space Station is traveling on. Now the vector that this space station is traveling on. Now the V-bar. CRS-21 has since crossed that velocity bar, so it's making its way above that to that next milestone, making its way waypoint to that next milestone. Waypoint 1, that's maybe a little bit less. Just about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit less. But that'll be 450 meters away from the station. 450 meters away from the station at the velocity bar. That'll be at 220 meters, so it'll move out in front and just get ever closer. Move out in front, still maintaining and just get ever closer. The keep out still maintaining the keep out sphere outside of the keep out sphere. The keep out sphere is 185 meters away from the station. 5 meters throughout this approach. The station teams here in Mission Control Houston and in Mission Control Houston and in Mission Control Hawthorne.
Structure in there, that a little bit of station gauge a little bit better on the MPEG streamer. Gauge a little bit better on the MPEG streamer.
Change camera views, and we'll add in some structure. Camera views, and we'll add in some structure.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Sorry, I'm used to excellent. Thank you. Sorry, I'm used to controlling the cameras myself. So thanks for bearing with me. The robotics operation. So thanks for bearing with me.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Excellent view. Thank you for that change. Excellent view. Thank you for that change.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live look at the International Space Station. You're getting a live look at the International Space Station Flight Control Room here in Mission Control Houston by Flight Director Paul Kanya. Are led by Flight Director Paul Kanya. Mission Control Houston is next to Paul Kanya. Mission Control Houston is next to Paul Kanya. Speaking with Kate Rubins, who's responding from speaking with Kate Rubins, who's responding from the cupola module. Victor Glover, they're monitoring the Victor Glover, the telemetry and data that's coming from the telemetry and data that's coming from delivering cargo data and communication, delivering a data and communication V2 common link communication for visiting vehicle. Now regaining for visiting vehicle. Now regaining some of the video and audio from the International Space Station. Here's a view Dragon of 412 meters from the International Space Station. 412 meters from the International Space Station. Getting a little bit closer, slowly getting a little bit to that 220 meter, to that 220 meter directly above holding point, the docking port, the international docking adapter port, the international docking adapter Dragon is expected to dock today, where Dragon is about 40 minutes or so. And just about a little bit ahead of the timeline or so. We're a little bit ahead of the timeline. Have been trending. The expected docking time has the expected docking time 30 p.m. Central Time, 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Dragon continues to make its approach. As Dragon continues to make its approach. Teams here in Mission Control Houston now undergoing to pass through waypoint 1 to pass through waypoint 2 is just 20 meters away from the International Space Station. Now away from the International Space Station, now from 220 to 20 meters. Within that range, from 220 to 20 meters, there's an imaginary sphere about 180 meters. Imaginary sphere about 180 meters and has a whole new set of sphere, so they're conducting the go-no-go. That keep-out sphere, so they're conducting the go-no-go. Dragon so far has been trending. Dragon so far has been trending. Yesterday at 10:17 a.m. Central. Yesterday at 10:17 a.m. Central. Make its way. It's continuing to make towards make its way. Now when it reaches waypoint 1, that's 220 meters. Now when it reaches waypoint 1, that's 220 meters. The international docking adapter 3. The expectation as long as everything is looking good for the spacecraft, as long as everything is maneuver straight for the spacecraft waypoint 1 to maneuver straight, no pausing necessary. 1 to waypoint 2, no pausing necessary within that time frame. It'll cross the keep-out sphere within that time frame. Happen at waypoint 2. This will happen 20 meters in front of the International Space Station. 20 meters in front of the International Space Station. Make sure everything is okay to proceed. Let's make sure everything is okay to proceed. 20 meters away. Depart go in for a contact and capture. And go in for a contact and capture. Now, this will be the first time that a visiting vehicle docks to the International Docking Adapter 3. To the International Docking Adapter 3. To the pressurized mating adapter 3. Pressurized mating adapter 3 was robotically removed from the Tranquility module. This is removed from the Tranquility back in March of 2016. It was formally attached to 2016 common berthing mechanism to the port. That's on the far left side if you're looking. That's on the far left side if you're looking. Same port, same common berthing mechanism. Same port, same common berthing mechanism. Nanoracks Bishop airlock. The Nanoracks Bishop airlock be positioned shortly after the Spacex CRS-21 docks. The Spacex view from the Spacex. This view from the Spacex video as it makes its way. This is now above video as it makes its way. This is now above you can tell a little bit above velocity bar directly in front of the International Space Station. Directly in front of the International Space Station. You can make out very clearly at the very forward end of the station. It's at the very forward end of the station. You can sort of make out a little bit obstructed. You can sort of make out a little bit obstructed. You can make out the crew Dragon. But you can make out the crew Dragon to the International Space Station. Members to the International Space Station right now. Last month is flying 263. Is flying 2 miles right over Canada, making its way right over Canada, northeastern trajectory, and should pass over on a northeastern trajectory and North Atlantic Ocean. Shortly over the North Atlantic Ocean. Shortly over the North Atlantic Ocean, the International Space Station and both cargo International Space Station will be entering into an orbital nighttime, so those views will be entering into an orbital nighttime, so those views darker. Upon approach darker, but at upon 12:30 we're expected to be in an orbital daytime. 12:30 we're expected to be in an orbital daytime. This is Mission Control Houston. Now again, the Spacex cargo dragon vehicle CRS-21 SpaceX cargo dragon vehicle CRS-21 220 meters heading towards waypoint 1, 220 meters. Its new docking port, the international docking adapter 3. You can sort of international docking from this angle making its way. See from this angle making its way towards that top or zenith part. The top or zenith part.
Pointing right at the intersection of Node 2 and IDA.
Copy all. And good Dragon video. Copy all. And good Dragon video.
This is Mission Control Houston. Some of the readouts from Mission Control Houston. Some of the readouts from module. She's able to track some of the data. She's able to track some of the data cargo dragon coming right from C2 the cargo dragon communications called C2 visiting vehicles. She's looking at the alignment. Everything looks good. She's looking at the alignment. Everything looks good. Proximity operations software. Rendezvous. She's using to track the approach of Dragon. Some trajectory officers here. Approach of Dragon. Some trajectory officers here. Hawthorne, California. SpaceX, as well as in Hawthorne, California. Confirming SpaceX, that the cargo dragon is confirming that the cargo dragon is on a good trajectory. That's 220 meters with waypoint 1. That's the docking axis in front of the docking axis. Just about 300 meters away from the International Space Station. Away from that next milestone is 220. That next milestone is 220 meters. Now again, it's going to dock to the International Docking Adapter 3. IDA 3. IDA 3 is currently attached to PMA3 pressurized mating adapter 3. PMA3 pressurized mating adapter 3 specifically for that was configured specifically cargo and crew and supporting vehicles, some of the commercial operations that we've been seeing lately. Some of the commercial operations that we've been seeing lately. Robotically removed from Tranquility Module in March of 2016. That was originally at the port common berthing mechanism. Originally at the port common berthing mechanism. This is the same the Tranquility berthing mechanism that will see the Bishop airlock mechanism that will see the Bishop airlock of the cargo dragon. We'll see that of the cargo dragon common berthing mechanism be its new home. Common berthing mechanism be its new home. Now it was removed from Tranquility in March of 2016 and it was attached to the Harmony 2016 module and it was attached to the Harmony Zenith module in March of 2017. That's where it currently is positioned in March of 2017. To dock to the pressurized mating adapter 3 to dock to the pressurized mating adapter 3 that was in 2001 Space Shuttle on STS-98 that brought the U.S. National Laboratory CRS-21 continuing to make its way towards that next milestone. Continuing to make its way towards that next milestone. 275 we're just inside from the International Space Station. That next milestone from the International Space Station. That next milestone directly in front of the docking axis. Directly in front. Now we're about to enter into an orbital nighttime here as the International Space Station nighttime here as the International Space Station over the North Atlantic Ocean. Statute miles over the North Atlantic will start to get a little bit dimmer. So the views here will start to get a little bit dimmer. The last glimpses of light reflecting off of the International Space Station, reflecting off of the cameras provided by the cargo dragon as provided by makes its way the cargo dragon as it makes its way towards that next milestone. Now a correction as we make our way to that next milestone. We'll see that next milestone. Dragon and we'll see the International Space Station Dragon into an orbital nighttime. Space Station enter into an orbital nighttime for docking. Remains at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. That will continue to assess p.m. Central Time. That will continue to assess docking and pass some of these milestones. As we get closer to docking and pass some of these milestones. Sunrise is actually expected 12:42 p.m. Central Time. So the expectation p.m. Central Time. Dragon will actually dock. Is that during Dragon will actually dock? We may see some sun glistening off. We may see some sun glistening as we approach that sunrise. As we approach that 12:42, that's expected. 12:42, that's expected. But a correction that the Dragon, a correction cargo that Dragon is actually expected to dock. Cargo Dragon in the nighttime is actually expected to dock in the nighttime. Just before we pass into an orbital nighttime, we may actually reach that waypoint 1. May actually reach that waypoint 1. Views of this International Space Station in the sunlight. This International Space Station in the sunlight. Waypoint 1 as it makes its way toward waypoint 1. Arrival is expected in about a minute and a half from now. Expected in about a minute and a half from now. Of the International Space Station looking very clear. Of the International Space Station looking very clear. You can sort of see from this view directly. I guess you can sort of see or in front directly. I guess. Above you can sort of see of that image. Node 2, you can sort of see the International Docking Adaptive 3 port. That's the International you can sort of make out the position there. We're now lined up. You can sort of make out the position there. We're now lined up of that almost port. That'll be that next waypoint arrival. That'll be that next waypoint in just about a minute. Coming up here in just about a minute. 220 meters. We're now sitting at 229 meters. We're now sitting at 229 meters. This is Mission Control Houston receiving confirmation that the cargo dragon has passed waypoint 1. The cargo dragon has passed 220 meters directly in front. 220 meters directly in front.
Orbital night. We're probably going to headed into orbital night. We're probably going to run into some you can get that camera. If there's any way that you can get that camera instead of strobing as early as possible, instead of strobing as early as possible on the docking target. Early visual on the docking target.
This is Mission Control Houston. Now the station and Mission Control Houston expected to enter into an orbital night here soon. Are expected to enter into an orbital night here soon. Now we'll just get a little bit darker. The image that you're seeing now, appreciating now the views of the appreciating resilience of the forward end of the International Space Station. Resilience at the forward end of the International Space Station. We have passed glistening off the sun there. We have passed. This is the milestone 220 meters. This is the milestone 220 meters.
-0.30. We are in step 30. 0. We are in step 3.
Copy all.
And we're going to switch over to,
Copy all.
We're going to switch over to DP to VVDP. Forward. DP to VVDP.
Copy all, Kate. Copy all, Kate.
Again, we have passed waypoint 1. We're now approaching the International Space Station, heading towards waypoint 2, 20 meters away. Heading towards
we're now inside
190 meters away. We're now inside
Houston
190 meters.
Hawthorne
have given a go to
Hawthorne have given a go
the keep out
to
sphere. We should hear that call momentarily.
Keep out sphere. We should hear that call momentarily.
Approaching at a rate of about 30 centimeters per second.
Approaching at a rate of about 30 centimeters per second. Houston Station on space to ground 2. We see range station on space to ground 2. We see range -0.30, -0.30. Abort type I see the flights as indicated in the CGV2 command panel, and the CGV2 command panel, and the rest of block as expected. Looking at the attitude in the docking system, we don't yet have a visual on the system. We'll let you know when we can assess visual on the target. We'll let you know when we can assess that.
Copy all. Copy all.
This is Mission Control Houston, 140 meters away from the International Space Station. 140 meters away from the International Space Station. Cargo vehicle has crossed the Dragon cargo vehicle has enabling commanding from the crew on board. Enabling commanding Space Station Cape Rubens. The International Space Station Cape Rubens inside the cupola. Their monitoring procedures inside the cupola. They'll be able to execute a breakout maneuver if necessary. They'll be able to execute a breakout maneuver if necessary. They've tested this command activating the docking lights aboard Dragon. That test command looked pretty good aboard Dragon. Now inside 130 meters. Now inside 130 meters. Maintaining at 30 centimeters per second. Maintaining at 30 centimeters per second. Just as waypoint 2. We're expected to arrive waypoint 2. Maybe about a minute early from the expected time. About a minute early from the expected time. PM Central Time is what we're expecting. PM Central Time is what we're expecting. About 8 minutes from now. Everything's looking good for the approach and docking. Everything's looking good for the approach and docking phase. The final phase of the journey of CRS 21 today. The journey of CRS 21 today. This is Mission Control Houston. If you are wondering what the rendezvous proximity, if you are wondering what the rendezvous proximity, Kate Rubens and operations program Victor Glover are looking at aboard the International Space Station. This is their view aboard the International Space Station. This is their view. These views are being provided through the common communication. These views are being provided through the common communication. The link between the cargo dragon and the International Space Station. The cargo dragon and the International Space Station.
Take it apart after exercise, and then I will
Copy all.
take it apart.
Copy all.
Sensation on space to ground 2, range, sensation on space to ground 2, range 100, negative 0, decimal 3, range 0, negative 0, decimal as expected, attitude looks good in the MPEG streamer. Attitude looks good in the MPEG streamer.
Houston copies all. Houston copies all.
Kate Rubens reporting good telemetry, lines up with what the good telemetry lines up with Houston. The flight controllers here, Mission Control Houston. That range rate holding at 30 meters. We're now that range rate holding heading inside 80 meters away from the International Space Station. 80 meters away from the International Space Station. 20 meters. That next milestone from the International Space Station. Everything's looking away from the International Space Station. Everything's looking good. For the communications that you're hearing on space to ground. Communications that you're hearing on space to ground. Rubens. Of course, we do have Victor Glover monitoring the approach. Victor Glover monitoring the approach of Dragon, but we do have.
For docking light.
On 2.
Kate, if you want the docking light to on, if you want the docking light for you on instead of blinking, we are go for you to use the PCS Zenith monitoring Dragon the C2 Zenith monitoring V2 command panel section bottom left. V2 command panel section bottom on. Command docking light to on.
Copy, go. We've been looking at that button. Hoping you would tell us that. Thank you. In work. We're going to turn it on. You tell us that. Thank you. In work. We're going to turn it on.
This is Mission Control Houston. Approach continues to look good. This is Mission Control Houston. Approach continues to look good. Now heading inside of 60 meters. We're now heading inside of 60 away meters from the International Space Station. Again, command International Space Station are again command abilities. The International Space Station enabled between Victor Glover, the International Space Station control panel that you're seeing on the right. At the control panel that you're seeing on the right. Cargo Dragon. This is from the International Space Station. Cargo Dragon. Thanks to some of the external high definition cameras. Thanks to some of the external high definition cameras there. But everything is looking good. Is on the left there. But everything is looking good. Dragon's approach for expected to reach. Dragon's approach. The next waypoint, waypoint 2. This is 20 meters away from the International Space Station. This is 20 meters away from the International Space Station. Will hold. This cargo dragon will hold. The teams here will be expected. The teams here go go no go. To make sure that everything no go is looking good. To make sure that everything final approach is looking good. To proceed with Dragon's final approach. Waypoint 2 arrival is expected. Just about a minute and a half from now. Just about a minute and a half from now.
Sensation on space to ground 2, 50 meters, range rate negative 0.30. Attitude is good in the MPEG streamer, and we are waiting to acquire view of the target in the Dragon docking monitor.
Copy all.
Everything's looking good. Dragon is 30 meters and closing from this high-definition external view. You can see some of those service section Dracos firing, maintaining Dragon's attitude as it approaches its next milestone, 20 meters away from the International Space Station's International Docking Adapter 3, where it's expected to dock in a little bit more than 10 minutes from now.
Sensation on space to ground 2, we can see the target. We can assess alignment at 33 meters. We are good alignment. 3 meters. We are.
Copy. Good alignment at 33 meters. Copy. Good alignment at 33 meters.
Houston Station on Space Ground 2, we see vehicle mode. Station on Space Ground 2, we see vehicle mode holding range 25, good holding range 0, good corridor range 3, and in the Dragon document we see good alignment. In the Dragon document we see good alignment. We have step 5 and step 6, and we are go whenever you are. Step 6, and we are go whenever you are.
And Kate, we copy all. It's looking good from down here. Also, we do have from down here also. We do have that would have occurred during the docking sequence if we pressed immediately. During the docking sequence if we pressed immediately. We are intending around 1834 or so. To around 1834 when we are resuming approach. We will give you a call when we are resuming approach.
Okay, copy hold until 1834. Okay, copy hold until 1834. Stay here at monitor, and we are going to stay here at monitor, and we are go and brief from the crew side.
Copy all.
This is Mission Control Houston. The cargo dragon has reached its next milestone. The cargo dragon has reached its next milestone, about 20 meters, a little bit. It's now less than 20 meters, a little bit 0.8 meters, less than 20 meters away from the International Space Station. Away from the International Space Station. Monitoring from the International Space Station. Their view is on from the International Space Station. Their view is on right there. That's the rendezvous proximity operations program. They said everything looked good from their end. They said everything looked good from their end. The command is hold. Dragon is hold. Dragon is aligned. Command is hold. And from the crew perspective, they are go to proceed. And from the crew perspective, they are go to proceed. From here in Mission Control Houston, we are going to wait. From here in Mission Control Houston, proceed with docking today. To proceed with docking some expected RADICOM. There is some expected RADICOM. Some of the telemetry that may coming from Dragon as it makes its way from Dragon as it makes its way. So we are expected to resume approach. And we are expected beyond 20 meters and go for a beyond 20 meters and go for a contact and capture. Expected at 12:34 p.m. Central Time, so it will be a little bit past Central Time, so it will be a little bit past docking time today. Expected to resume time today at expected 12:34 p.m. Central Time. 12:34 p.m. Central Time. A 12:34 p.m. A 12:34 Central Time p.m. Departure from Waypoint 2. Departure from an expected contact and capture time. An expected contact and capture time. 12:39 somewhere on the order p.m. Central Time. That'll be our new target for today. Central Time. That'll be our new target for today.
And Station Houston on 2 for Dragon. And Station Houston on 2 for Dragon.
And Houston Station on Space Ground 2.
Go ahead, Kate.
Head on 2.
Go ahead, Kate.
Head on 2. Yep, I was just letting you know my earlier range call was. I was just letting you know my earlier range call was. We had the docking point forward. Docking point had crew line my head still. We are now to Zenith docking point to we are now to and range 19.82 and range 19.82.
Copy 19.82, and I was going to call you and say make sure you're reading off the D2DM. I was going to call you and say make sure you're reading off the D2DM.
All right, and we can confirm on the D2DM 19.82. DM 19.82.
Copy. Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. Everything's still looking good from the International Space Station side, from the International Space Station side. Victor Glover monitoring, and the Victor Glover monitoring. Cargo Dragon as it holds 20 meters away. We passed that Dragon as it holds 20 meters away from their position, just making sure that they're watching from their position, just making sure that they're watching the same. Too long ago, telemetry. Cape Rubens, even less than too long ago, just about a month, even less than the approach was Crew 1 during the Spacex of Crew 1 mission that brought Spacex Victor Glover and 3 of his roommates, Victor Glover and 3 of his other astronaut currently monitoring cargo. The other astronaut currently monitoring cargo. Cape Rubens was monitoring the approach of Crew Dragon not too long ago. Just verifying she's looking at the right. Not too long ago. Just verifying she's looking at the right. That's the space-facing side. Node 2 of the space-facing side. In the International Space Station flight control room here in Houston, teams are undergoing a go here in Houston. Teams are undergoing a go with docking. Again, we are expected to docking. Again, its current position holding 20 meters away from the International Space Station. 20 meters away from the International Space Station. Just about 11 minutes. Time coming up at just about 11 p.m. Pacific. 12:34 that we have a secure communication just to make sure that we have from secure communication with the cargo Dragon before we go ahead and resume approach. Before we go ahead and resume approach. A docking with that we're expecting to see a docking p.m. Around 12 Central Time today. A little bit later than we were expecting. Central Time today. A little bit later than we were expecting. We have some solid communications with cargo Dragon. We have some solid communications with cargo Dragon. 400 pounds. That's carrying cargo inside. 400 pounds of cargo inside. To review some of the upcoming milestones, away from the International Space Station, expected to depart. National Space Station expected to depart.
Point on the SSC 12 on the SSC 17. So we haven't commanded anything on SSC 17. So we haven't commanded anything on that view there. We've got a good docking system view there.
Kate, we are happy with that plan, and just be advised we will have some ready comms here through about the ISS system here through about 1833 up 1834.
Happy, thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. That was Kate Rubins. This is Mission Control Houston. That was Kate Rubins. You're hearing from Mission Control Houston. That's Mike Jensen. You're hearing from Mission Control Houston. That's Mike Jensen. So we may see this view of Dragon go in and out intermittently as we get towards that expected as we get towards of 12:34 p.m. time. That again 12:34 p.m. Central time. That again the original departure time to allow the original departure time to allow us to get past this period. Make sure we have a good communication with Dragon. Make sure we have a good communication link with Dragon. Now, once it resumes at 12:34 p.m. Once it resumes at 12:34 p.m. approach Central Time, you'll hear some call-outs approach of Dragon as it approaches ever so closely. Of Dragon as it approaches ever so closely. There may be a 10 meters and 5 meters. There may be a call that's within 2 meters away from the that's within 2 meters away from just to make sure docking port. That Kate Rubins, just to make sure. Victor Glover inside the cupola module. Victor Glover inside to send any commands to Dragon within that time. Send any commands to Dragon within that time. That's it again. 2 meters away from the expected contact and capture away from the expected. We'll call contact and capture during the soft capture during the cargo Dragon to the International Space Station. Cargo Dragon to the International Space Station with report that time. The official docking time and the official docking location of the International Space Station and Dragon. Of the International Space Station and Dragon. The operations are not yet done. After that, we'll continue to provide coverage. That will continue to provide coverage to pull as the cargo Dragon into the international docking adapter. Cargo Dragon into the international docking adapter. A hard capture, and then we'll have to wait for cargo hard capture. There's 12 hooks that keep cargo Dragon hard mated to the international cargo Dragon mated to the international coverage until hard capture is complete. Our coverage until hard capture is complete. We're expected at that time to end our coverage. We're expected at that time to end our coverage, though the vestibule will be pressurized. That the vestibule will be cargo Dragon and the International Space Station to cargo Dragon and the International Space Station to allow to be opened later today. Getting access later today. Cargo inside. They'll perform a lot of the inside. They'll perform a lot of the cargo maneuvering or cargo moving operations tomorrow. Much of that will be tomorrow. Operations tomorrow. They're expected to get to a lot of the cargo inside. To get to a lot of the cargo inside today. We're now 6 minutes away from the expected departure time. 6 minutes away from the expected departure time. Dragon is still holding at 20 meters away from the International Space Station. 20 meters away from the International Space Station. Comms that you've heard from. Again, this is part of those ratty comms that you've heard from the crew, from Capcom. We're waiting to get past this period. We're waiting to get past this period. Cargo Dragon communications, which should stabilize expected at 12:34 which should stabilize expected at 12:34 p.m. And at that point, we're expected to depart. And at that point, we're expected to 20 meters and resume waypoint 2 at 20 meters and resume approach. This is Mission Control Houston. Again, we're in holding period. This is Mission Control Houston. Again, we're in Dragon, which has arrived to its waypoint 2, which has arrived 20 meters away from the International Space Station. 20 meters away from the International Space Station. For a little bit longer than expected to get past this period of radio communications. As you can see, some of those radio communications. As you can see, some of those going in and out from station, but going in and out from this period. But just inside of 3 minutes, 12:34 p.m. Just inside of 3 minutes, 12:34 p.m. Dragon Central Time approach to the International Space Station. Dragon resume its approach to the International Space Station. This is Mission Control Houston. We're now approaching the period where we expected to have some period where we expected to have some stable communication until we actually have full stabilization of the S-band communication. Though it looks like we're getting some video now. Though it looks like we're getting some video now. 1234. We'll stand by for that official confirmation. We'll stand by for that official confirmation that Cargo Dragon has departed waypoint 2.
And ready, we see good attitude. The capture sequence, we see range 19.82, and good attitude has been holding steady. 2, and good attitude has been holding steady.
Copy all, and we're coming out of the blockage. We'll be resuming hopefully momentarily.
This is Mission Control Houston. Again, we have not departed that 20 meter holding point. We have not departed that 20 meter holding point. Is waiting for that provides low S-band bandwidth data. We're waiting for that stabilized bandwidth data. We're waiting for that to stabilize until we see the departure. A little less than a minute of Cargo Dragon. See the departure of Cargo Dragon.
Station Houston, space to ground 2. Dragon is resuming approach and is go. Dragon is resuming approach. Monitor and is go and 6 in 1.102 and 6 in 1.102 monitoring. Uncrewed Dragon approach and retreat monitoring.
Copy. Steps 5 and 6. Crew is also steps go 5 for docking. And 6. Crew is also go for docking.
We just got confirmation Dragon has resumed approach. We just got confirmation Dragon has resumed approach.
19.41 and decreasing 19.41 and decreasing. We see attitude is good, holding steady. We see vehicle mode command lights are as expected. Vehicle mode command lights are as expected. And corridors as expected.
Houston copies all. Houston copies all.
Good call-outs from Kate Rubens, who's alongside Victor Glover in the cupola module. She's monitoring the telemetry of the cupola module. She's monitoring the telemetry of final approach for docking. Makes its final approach for docking. Again, approach has resumed from 20 meters. Again, approach has resumed from 20 meters. We're now inside 17 meters. "15 meters from station and closing. 15 meters from station and closing." Some of the International Space Station structure. Some of the International Space Station structure past 12 meters coming into from station as we pass 12 meters from station. Now inside 10 meters. Now inside 10 meters. Approach is looking good and aligned. Approach is looking good and aligned.
Station on space ground 2, range 8 meters. Station on space ground 2, range 8 meters, good attitude.
Copy, 8 meters, good attitude. Copy, 8 meters, good attitude.
Dragon is now inside 5 meters. Dragon is now inside 5 meters. Three meters, grounds have called a hands-off point. Grounds have standing by for contact and capture. Standing by for contact and capture.
Station space to ground 2, 2 meters chop. Station space to ground 2, 2 meters chop.
Crew hands-off point. Crew hands-off point. One meter. 1 meter. And we have confirmed contact and capture 12:40 p.m. Central Time and capture 12:40 p.m. Central Time.
Contact and soft capture complete. Contact and soft capture complete.
Soft capture complete. Soft capture complete.
Again confirmed. Contact and soft capture. Dragon and the International Space Station were 268 statute miles. Station were 268 southern Indian Ocean. Over 12:40 p.m. Southern Indian Ocean. 12:40 p.m. Central Time. Soft capture ring is now retracting. Soft capture ring is now retracting.
Houston, ring retraction is in progress. Houston, ring retraction is in progress.
Copy. Copy.
Again, we have a confirmed contact. We have a 40 p.m. Central Time capture at 12:40 p.m. Central Time. Station were both 268 statute miles. We're both over the southern Indian Ocean at the time. Over the southern Indian Ocean. We're now at the time standing by of capture. Dragon. We're now standing by some of the final steps for a hard capture. Undergo some of the final steps for a hard capture. Is the retraction of the soft capture ring? Is the retraction of the soft capture drive to there's 12 maintain a hard drive with the International Space Station. Maintain a hard milestone with the International Space Station. Coming up for the next milestone to officially dock coming up for the International Space Station. To officially dock to the International Space Station. As the sequence continues to go underway, we're now docking sequence continues to go underway. We're now entering sort of the glint of the orbital sunrise. You can see sort of the glint of the shining from behind the cargo Dragon. Shining from behind the cargo Dragon, now facing side its new home of the station's Harmony facing side. That happening again over the southern Indian Ocean. That happening again over the southern Indian Ocean. The Terminator line just south of Australia. a great view of Cargo Dragon now in its new home. View of Cargo Dragon pointing straight up at the zenith of space-facing pointing straight up at the zenith of space-facing is still undergoing some of the final steps of the Dragon is still undergoing some of the final steps right now undergoing the retraction of the soft capture ring. Right now undergoing the retraction of the soft capture ring.
Sensor 1, Sensor 2, Sensor 1, Sensor 2, stopwatch has started.
Okay, Rubens inside of the cupola module. Okay, continuing to monitor the cupola module. Continuing to monitor the Cargo Dragon. The docking sequence for Cargo Dragon. Soft capture ring. Again, is nearing completion of its retraction. Next will be driving. Is nearing completion of its retraction. Next will be driving the Cargo Dragon into place. Hard mate right in front of the International Docking Adapter 3. Right in front of the International Docking Adapter 3.
He sensation repeat. He sensation repeat.
Kate, ring retraction is complete. We are holding the docking retraction is complete. We are holding the MCS reconfiguration to finish the MCS reconfiguration.
Happy we've got our timer started. Happy we've got our timer started.
Again, we have a confirmed contact. Again, we have a confirmed contact and Central Time Station and Dragon. We're 268 statute miles and Dragon. We're 268 over the southern Indian Ocean. The soft capture ring has retracted. We're just waiting for ring has retracted. We're just waiting for the attitude control of the International Space Station itself. The attitude control of the International Space Station hard capture driving 12. And then we'll resume with the hard capture driving 12 into place. Hooks that will hard mate Cargo Dragon International Space Station on its new home aboard the International Space Station on the space-facing side of the Harmony module.
Happy Hook driving MCS config complete. Happy Hook driving MCS config complete.
And we had a confirmation that the International Space Station itself has been International Space Station itself its attitude control now in the right configuration to allow for a hard capture. In the right configuration to allow for a hard capture. That'll be 12 hooks driving to hard mate Dragon in place. Driving to International Space Station Dragon in place. Gyro. The International Space Station on control throughout this next sequence. Attitude control throughout this next sequence. That'll be again the 12 hooks that drive docking. That'll be again the 12 hooks that drive hard mating Dragon into place. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston. Go to resume its hard capture sequence. That'll be 12 hooks that hard capture sequence. Drive to 12 hooks that essentially hard mate or lock, essentially hard mate or lock that soft capture dragon into place. Capture occurred at 12 capture 40 p.m. Central Time from this view. 40 p.m. Central Time from this view. From one of the high definition cameras of the station's truss, you can sort of make out the nose cone of the two dueling dragons attached to the International Space Station. Dragons attached to the International Space Station at the same time. Crew Dragon, over to the left is at the very forward end of the International Space Station. At the very forward end of the International Space Station. Each of those vehicles now together passing 272 statute miles passing just south of Australia over the Terminator line just south of Australia over the South Pacific Ocean. Over the South Pacific Ocean. Now again, 12 hooks need to be driven to. Now again, 12 hooks to hard to be driven cargo dragon to the International Space Station. We receive confirmation dragon to the International Space Station. We receive confirmation that 6 hooks have those 12 or half standing by for confirmation of the remaining 6. Standing by for confirmation of the remaining 6 hooks. Losing some of the video from the International Space Station, but we're still receiving good International Space Station, but we're still from the cargo dragon. Those 6 remaining hooks still dragging. Those 6 to enable remaining hooks still driving of the cargo dragon to enable the International Space Station today. Of the cargo dragon to the International Space Station today. We're nearing completion. We're nearing completion. And we have confirmation of hard capture complete. And we have confirmation of hard capture complete.
Houston on 2. Hard capture complete.
Houston Station on Space to Ground 2, copy. Houston Station on Space to Ground 2, and I'd just like to say a huge congratulations. I'd just like to say a huge congratulations to all of the teams that worked on SpaceX that 21 months ago. You got pretty amazing numbers at a month ago. You got, and now you are bringing a vehicle full of world-class science for us to execute. Thank you. World-class science for us to execute. Thank you.
Copy all, and it is our pleasure. Copy all, and it is our pleasure.
This is Mission Control Houston. You heard those words from Kate Rubins. This is Mission Control Houston. You heard those words from Kate Rubins for the International Space Station, welcoming 6,400 pounds of cargo, more than 6,400 pounds International Space Station. You heard that hard capture to the International Space Station. You heard that hard capture sequence is complete. The International Space Station officially hatches are expected to be opened later today. Hatches are expected to be opened later today. Incredible science that is on board. The incredible science that you have seen today. A recap of the mission, a confirmed contact and capture. That time a confirmed 12:40 p.m. Central Time was 12:40 at the time of docking Central Time. Dragon, at the time of docking the flying 268 statute miles flying 268 statute miles over the Indian docking sequence of that completes the approach of cargo dragon on a CRS 21 mission. The cargo dragon on a CRS 21 mission. With that, we will wrap our coverage here in Mission Control Houston. Thank you for joining us for the duration of the flight of Thank you for joining us beginning yesterday of the flight of CRS 21 beginning yesterday December 6th launching from the Kennedy Space Center Cape Canaveral over in Florida, the Kennedy at 10:17 a.m. Central Time, launching at 10:17 a.m. to the International Space Station, and docking to the International Space Station 26 hours later, 24 hours later, 26 hours later p.m. at Central Time. That will wrap up our coverage today. Central Time. This is Mission Control Houston. That will wrap up our coverage today. This is Mission Control Houston.